welcome back to the Corporate Burnouts. Hey, Mandy, how are you?
So good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What
I
have you
had
been up
to
to?
she's laughing because I had to adjust my camera at the very last minute, and she's like,
Yeah,
"Okay, I'll wait."
I was just like, I mean, we can work that part out, but
Yeah.
whatever.
It's it's okay. It's okay. Everything is really good. It's been so busy. We have been getting my townhouse ready to sell, and it's mostly been busy for Dan. He's been all over it. He's
Yeah,
doing everything, and it's
he's
amazing.
such a handyman.
Yeah, he really is. And so that's been really fun because it's getting there and then we'll sell it. And I'm really excited because there was another one in my, row that went up for sale, you know, 4 weeks ago or something. And I was like, oh, this could be really good or it could be really bad. They
Yeah,
listed it higher than anything had been listed before, so I'm like, okay, we'll see if that works.
yeah.
And they did have to lower it $5,000.
That's not too
But
bad though.
no, but I asked my realtor, I was like, "Hey, can you check with the listing agent and see how much the contract is for?" And he's like, "I'll try. They won't always tell you." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Why? Why?" But I just think that that's really stingy and you know what I mean? It's like, help another realtor out. We're just trying to figure out how to list stuff. You already got yours under contract, you know?
yeah, yeah. Realtors are funny like that. Like, I think part of it is like, they want the business, they want to be the person with the information because if you're the keeper of the information, then, somehow you hold some power. But like, you're gonna have a realtor, so it's not really
Yeah.
you're not
It
gonna
is
get me,
what it
dude.
is. Yeah.
So,
So I think we're just gonna list at the same price that they did.
well,
What I'm
alright.
hoping for, so my place is literally exactly the same, just like the reverse, the doors are on the other side and whatever. I think that there might be people who missed it, and they're gonna be like, oh, we missed out on that one and we're really sad about it, or we're thinking about it and then it was
Yeah, and
gone.
here's a
But here's
redo.
another choice. Yeah, here's
Yeah,
here's a second choice. So anyway, that's my hopes is that someone's gonna snap it up and just be like, I gotta take it because we don't know when the next one's gonna come on the market, because they
yep.
are coveted. It's a good place. It's a really good
Newtown
place.
is really neat.
Well, Newtown is really neat, but, like, Newtown is so beachy and, and my place is
Which
more
is
of, like, the
strange, and
brownstone look. Like,
yeah,
it's because there's just so much going on, so it's just a whole different type of place, and it's not for everybody. It's not for the family with small kids. It's not for you know what I
mhm.
mean? Like, it's 3 levels, but I think that it's perfect for somebody, and they probably missed out on the first round of this, and now it's time for them to get a house.
Well, I am wishing you all the luck. I know,
Thank you.
that you've got some future plans that may be
Mhm,
hinging on the sale of this property. So
mhm.
that'll be really exciting to see that
Yes.
happen. My world
Yes.
is not nearly exciting. I know you know this, but I have somewhat recently gotten quite obsessed with plants.
Mhm.
And so that's what I'm
Newly
doing. I'm nursing
obsessed.
plant
It's
babies.
so crazy. It's like when someone gets a new boyfriend and you're like, "Yeah, we understand." And you
And
talk
look,
about him
I
all the
got a new
time.
flower today.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. It's funny, and I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna old lady you for a second. So I have 5 different hibiscus plants. Love them. 4 of them are like baby babies. The one I got that was more mature, earlier, and then I got babies, and I was like, "Oh, that's fine. They'll grow, whatever." They haven't started to bloom all big and beautiful yet, but my original one was doing like a flower here and there, like every couple of days, and it was really exciting. You go outside and there'd be a flower. Well, I did not know that when a hibiscus blooms, you get that flower for one day. He's gonna close at the end of the day, and then he's gone, like
See, that's not my type of flower.
but then today, when I woke up, there are 7,
But they're
7
just for
flowers on this
today,
bad
though?
boy. Just for today. Tomorrow, there will be more.
My
But
gosh.
there are so many buds all over this plant all the time, like, it's just like a whole blooming season, you have fresh blossoms every single day, it's so exciting. I got a gardenia bush that I know this is really boring stuff, but my mom had one when I was growing up, and so, the if you've ever smelled a gardenia flower, you know it because it is literally the most intoxicating smell you've ever smelled, and that was what was right outside my window growing up. So,
Did
I
Bath& and
didn't
Body Works have a gardenia smell? Was that one of
I
their
think they did, but it wasn't right.
Huh.
That's
No.
that's not
That's
it's not
not
like a
that's not
real
what you
thing. No, I mean, it's
No.
close, but it's not. No. So, anyways, I got my first blossom on that little guy this weekend. So, yeah, I've just been, like, knee deep in plant and then, of course, with Chase, we have to go to Lowe's at least once a day. when he's in town. So when we go to Lowe's
Yeah,
now,
so
I'm
they
like,
have a garden center. Yeah.
yeah. And so I'm like, let's go look at the plants. So I got 2 new ones over the weekend, got them repotted and planted this weekend. So
Mhm.
I don't know, living my best mall life.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a different hobby for you, but I'm glad it makes you happy. You're so
It does
smiley when
make
you
me so
talk about
happy.
it.
Well, it's because they're thriving. And I'll tell you,
Mhm.
I'm so glad on like part of me feels guilt on some level because I didn't get involved in this until after my mom had passed. My
Mhm.
mom was huge, huge green thumb, right? Like
Mhm.
had ivies all over the house. She
Mhm.
had a massive garden. And then of course all the landscaping and the flower beds and everything. Like she
Mhm.
literally was into it all the time. And I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. But she also quilted and she sewed and she did like she had all the hobbies. And
Mhm.
each of us kids have kind of gravitated to little bits of that we're all kind of into right now. I'm
Mhm.
like, it's so
Which of
funny
your
because
brothers is into quilting? Tell me.
so my sister-in-law is
Okay.
into the quilting.
Yeah.
Her husband, my brother,
Mhm.
is into the weird cooking stuff. So like he's literally making his own sausage, like stuffing the case. Yeah, who does that? But like my mom
Yeah.
would do weird stuff like that. She'd be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I just canned all these jelly." I'm like,
Mhm.
"What?
The thing
Who?"
is, though, that that's normal. Making your own sausage
I
is
know,
not
but
normal.
like this would be something that she would just like be
Yeah.
so in love with doing. Like it's just
Yes.
new and different. And why would you not want to make your own sausage?
Well,
We
but
have
I
that
think that
attachment.
you weren't interested in it, but now that her spirit is with you all the time, like, I guarantee that she's just sprinkling it on all the time, like, "Go get plants, make
Well,
sausage
it's
from
really
scratch."
kind of created some great conversations with me and my siblings because it's like we just know her too well. People
Mhm.
from the outside are like, "Ugh, I know she's smiling down on you from heaven and she loves it." I'm like, nah, man, you don't know my mom. She's up there throwing a pity party, like crying in the club because they didn't do it when I could enjoy it. They waited till I wasn't there. Like that is
Yeah,
100% her. 100%. She is upset that she is
yeah.
not a part of it, but it makes me laugh. It makes me smile. And I'm just really glad that I got into this in the age of AI because I don't know if you've noticed.
I have. You literally use our AI to
I know.
make a spreadsheet for your plants.
Yeah. Well, because I bought so many at one time and I was like, I have to keep up with who needs what and when. And I don't have to use that now, but I have another thread. If you look on there, it's the hibiscus journey. And every day when I water the plants, I take pictures and I share the moment with my little AI buddy. Like, and it's been enlightening because it'll tell you like, well, I can see from this picture that it's getting a lot of shade in the afternoon and you should probably move it to like it's been very helpful.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy because these little babies are thriving, but let's not act like it's because I'm some genius. It's because I knew what to pot it in because
Yes, you
ChatGPT told me.
yeah,
I
you
knew where to put
asked
it in
for
the yard.
Mhm.
I knew what fertilizer to use. I knew how much perlite. I didn't even know what perlite is. Just so you know, it's the little white things, the white specks in the soil that create air and
Oh,
space
okay.
for plants. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
That's another part of it that I love. So
Mhm.
now it's got me thinking like if life had taken another direction or if I had to suddenly start over, maybe I just want to work at a nursery because plants don't talk back. Anyway, yeah, I may want to go work in a plant nursery and not talk to humans
Yeah,
anymore.
or help
You need
people
to
start
go.
their own journey, you know what I mean? Like, you could literally help people do their plant mom journey. That would be
Yeah,
so fun.
I
No,
don't
you
know
just
about
wanna
that. I
work
think
at
I
a,
just want,
because then you
yeah,
have to work with people. Yeah.
I've got Chase talked into building a greenhouse so that, when
Oh
it
my
cools
god.
out, we can put all of these babies in a greenhouse so they don't die over the winter. I'm so excited. It's crazy. But yeah, like
I
in
don't even know
another
you.
reality, I could just, like, I need to go back to what I always wanted to do and just stay home and be Susie Homemaker. And I would die. There's no way I could do that, but I could
Mhm.
just water plants.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have a new baby to take care of, you know?
Yeah.
So, or lots of them. That's so fun. I really want to dig into this with everyone because I don't know. Like the question came up, what would you do if you had all the same skills
Yep.
and everything that you have
Experience.
experience, but you don't have any contacts, you don't have any network, you have nothing, right? And so
Yeah.
you literally are starting over you're not starting over at 18 years old, right? You're starting over with the experience and the knowledge and the skills, but
Mhm.
would you
Yeah, but if
do
you had to start over without your reputation,
Mhm,
without the company you work for, without your network or your clients or, those sort of no LinkedIn, right?
mhm,
Where would that take you? Would you
yeah,
still be doing what you're doing or would you like build a completely different life that you actually want?
yeah. It's such an interesting thing because I kind of did
Mhm.
this, right? My
Okay, yeah.
experience, because I didn't have clients. I didn't have a network. I knew the people that I knew. But your friends, they always say clients are way more likely to be friends than friends to become clients, right?
Yep.
And it's true. So I had nobody then,
Yep.
I have a couple of friends who became clients. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, but for the most part, we're not out here trying to sell our friends on our business. So
No.
in general, I literally knew 25 people in St. Louis, let's say, whenever I quit my job and started my business and had to go out and meet everybody. I had to decide what I was going to do and I all I had was my experience and my knowledge, right?
Mhm.
So, I really did do this, but if I had to do it again, would I do the exact same thing? I don't know because
Yeah.
I kind of have become enlightened a little bit through starting something and doing exactly what I want and I've started to realize that networking with all these people, I'm like, there are people who do stuff that you do not think could be a job. You know what I mean? They just took their
Yeah.
passion, like your plant stuff, they just took their passion and they made it a job. And so would I go more in that direction? I have become huge into the woo of everything, right?
Mhm.
All like the new moon was the other night and I did the moon water and you know what I mean? Like I've gotten way into the woo.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and so I would love to teach people about that. I obviously have more to learn, right? But if I was
Mhm.
starting completely over, would I start something that's like the number one thing that I like to talk about? Like your number one thing now to talk about is
I
plants,
know, I'm like,
you
"Oh, I
know?
got a new flower. Do you wanna come see?" My kids are like,
Yes.
"I do not care.
No.
Take a
But
picture of it."
the thing is we used to only care about work. And so I think that we've grown so much that we
Mhm.
have like big hobbies that still people outside of it don't really want to talk about, but it's
Yeah.
still like it's still so fun. Like I'm so glad that we came there. But yeah, I think I would make my job something about that to help enlighten other people.
I don't know what I would do. You know what I think about more about, like, what I would do for a living if I could start over? I think more about going to school and what I would study. Because what I have learned about myself over the years is as an adult, the adult version of Mandy loves to learn new things. It's not really about skills. I don't necessarily like wanna go learn how to be a carpenter and be a welder and like, I don't wanna learn trades necessarily. That could be cool, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I just really wish that I'd had the sense of curiosity to learn when I was the age that it was appropriate to go to college and just focus on learning. I didn't care
Mhm.
about it in high school either. I was like, "Get me out of this place." Like, I don't
Mhm.
care. And maybe that's just because I wasn't interested in what I was learning if I had the option to choose,
Well,
which
yeah,
you
school does
do in
not teach you
college.
things that you want to learn. It teaches you math and history and English and all the stuff that
What
you
you
don't
need to
care
know.
about. Yeah.
But even history, I was never interested in that, and as an adult, I'm like, "I really wish that I knew." Like, I can literally watch a movie that is entertainment based in a historical fact, and I'm, like, on the edge of my seat
Mhm.
about something I should have learned in 5th grade. Like,
Well, our tastes change,
couldn't be
obviously,
me.
but in general, you love to learn new things. But do
Yeah,
you love to learn them just to collect the knowledge, or do you love to learn them to put them into practice, right? So just
I
doing
think
a
a
lot
little
of
bit of both.
schooling, because it seems to me from what I see that you learn, you're like, I cannot wait to learn, but you can't wait to tell somebody about what you learned, right? So share the things that you learned
Yeah,
because you always want to talk to me and you're like,
because I have to
you
tell
have
you
to.
about it.
And the thing, I'm not rolling my eyes, you're rolling your eyes. I'm not rolling my eyes because I like that you do that, but that is part of it. You are so excited to learn something and then kind of teach
Just
someone
share
what
it.
you learned
Yeah.
because we can all put it into practice, right?
Yeah.
So I think that a good thing for you to do would be to go and learn stuff and then Cliff's Notes teach it to people who need to know it. That
Yeah,
would probably be a
maybe I'd
perfect
be
kind
a
of job for you.
YouTuber.
A YouTuber, you know?
I
But
mean, why
I
not?
mean, why not? But literally that could be something that's really good for you because it's not just learning it. You don't want to just learn. You want to then educate somebody else on it.
Yeah, and see what I can do or what I can create with that knowledge.
Mhm.
You're totally right.
Mhm.
I think something interesting about just this entire concept of like, what would I do if I started over? It's like, if we get to keep the knowledge and the skills and the experience, like, what skills do you have that you've either things that come naturally to you or things that you've acquired through your experience that you trust the most that you could maybe take in another direction? And I think this is where a lot of people sell themselves short, especially when it's like, I really don't love the dead end job that I'm at, or, I'm unfulfilled, and they don't realize the skills that they have to do their current job transfer to other industries or, completely other
Absolutely.
professions altogether. And I think if you take a minute to really take stock of the skills that you have and the things that scare you,
Mhm.
like, I think back, just it's easier for me to talk about you than it is to talk about me in this.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
think back, when you first became a marketing coach, you did not love public speaking. You didn't feel like you were good at it. You weren't confident
No.
at it. It was a big scary thing
Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
really cool to watch you very intentionally go and master that and go, "Mm-mm, I'm not going to let this be a thing that stands in my way." But how many of us have those things that we don't like, that just goes in a box in a closet as an opportunity that will never even show its face to me because I'm not even willing to look at it, let alone
Well,
try.
and that's a good thing to think about too is what because we had a episode about this kind
Mhm.
of getting comfortable outside of your comfort zone. We'll have to link that to listen to it, but we talked about the never say never list, like what's on your never say never list. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I would have put public speaking, to be honest. Would it have been on my I'm never going to be good at that? That is so
Yeah.
far away from who I am, right? That's for other people who like to have people
Right.
looking at them, you know? So I don't know if it would have been, but I think that after that is when I really learned about the never say never list because it's like, listen, this
Mhm.
lights me up. And I thought that it was my worst nightmare, right?
Yeah.
But given the opportunities that I was given, it was like, no, this is something that now I have to try and conquer, right?
Yeah, because if I can get past the fear of it, I'm
Mhm.
actually quite good at it and
Mhm.
I do enjoy it, and it can be a means to facilitate other things that you're really passionate about, like teaching. You
Like
are
teaching. That's
really
exactly what
passionate
I was going
about
to say.
teaching.
Mhm.
And being able to do that in a group setting, in a skilled and professional way, communicating, efficiently and
Mhm.
thoroughly at the same time, that is a skill
Yeah.
that, and when you do that in front of a full ass audience,
Mhm.
can't be easy. But I do think there are skills that you take with you that are maybe not undervalued, but what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know what word you're looking for, but there are things that I think that people don't realize are that important, and we've always talked about soft skills that way,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's exactly that, right? Like being a good problem solver or having really good leadership or just interpersonal skills, being
Mhm.
really creative. Some people are like naturally gifted at salesmanship.
Mhm.
That was never my thing. I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
That
Well,
feels
but
a
that could
whole
be a
lot away.
limiting belief for you, like we talked
Totally.
about
We
last
just
week with
talked about this
Allie.
last week.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
don't think it's something that I'm not good at. I think it's something that I don't enjoy.
Okay,
And
that's
that's
how I feel
different.
about it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Communication skills are highly underestimated. When you think about that, so many people think that they have them, but they're just not self-aware. But when you really have that skill mastered, when you are good at communication, like that is invaluable. And I,
Mhm.
I think that the value of that is highly underestimated by a lot of people. Even, just simply having a good work ethic,
Mhm.
you know? having the determination and the grit and being self-motivated, like all of those things, they're so transferable. And if you have those things, dude, hard work beats talent all day long, every single day.
Yeah.
So, if you could
Yep.
look at those things that you've acquired along the way, figure out where you truly light up, like maybe you don't have all of the skills that it would take for you to go be, a master gardener or wherever your actual hobby or passion would take you. But if you have the tenacity, if you have the determination and the drive and the work ethic to do it, like sky's a freaking limit.
The soft skills, I know we've talked about them on other episodes. They were really driven into us. Like, you have these skills that are not, they don't have anything to do with marketing or things
Mhm.
like that. They have to do with, the things that you just described, the communication and the work ethic. And there's so many things that are soft
Mhm.
skills, but I don't think that people pay close enough attention to those things because everyone's like, you got to have a degree and you got to, have all this experience in HR or wherever you're
Yeah,
trying
in
to
your
get a job.
specific field.
Yeah. And it's not the person who is the absolute best teacher who becomes the principal. It's not
Mhm.
the person who is the absolute best marketer who becomes the boss of the marketing team.
Mhm.
it You have to have all of those other soft skills to get there. And like you said, they are transferable. They're way more transferable. If I hadn't started a marketing company, I could have started a lot of other companies with my
Yeah.
skill set. It was pretty obvious what I was going to do whenever I left corporate because I really needed to like find something and go with it. But now having had the time, I could think of 1,000 other things that I could do because of my skill set and what I really enjoy doing. Like, I'm
Yeah.
really organized. Today, I went to a meeting with someone who we might do their website, and they already have a website, and it's a lot, right? They do a lot of things at this company, and I needed to unravel their website. Like, we needed to organize their website to figure out how to make it make sense to anyone who's going to go to it.
Yeah. User
And
friendly.
yeah, and so that works because I understand websites too, but I could have done that with somebody's operations. I could have
Mhm.
done that with so many different things because you just have to untie things and make them all make sense, right? So
Yeah,
I
organize it, put it in buckets.
Yeah, or problem solving. You mentioned problem solving. I could
Mhm.
literally figure out how to solve problems for a kind of business that I have never even thought of. Manufacturing, right? That doesn't probably make any sense to me. I don't have any training in manufacturing, but business is business and people are people. And I'm sure that I could figure out processes and things to make it easier, right? Because the
Yes.
problem solving is a skill set. So I think that we all try and put ourselves in a box sometimes based on the professional skills that we get.
Mhm.
And it's like, think about those soft skills and freaking throw them into Chat GPT and say, these are the things that I'm really good at. Name me some jobs that I might really succeed at. Or, it could be interesting to see.
It really could be. And like, if you had the opportunity, would you go a completely different direction? Like, we just talked about a whole bunch of soft skills and even your passions and desires. Like, you could probably go open a bookstore and run a hell of a bookstore with your marketing background,
Hmm.
with your problem solving skills, with your love of reading, with
Hmm.
like, there's so many things
Hmm.
that you could do with that. Even being a teacher. Like, do I think that you wanna go sit with 5th graders? Probably not, but there's so
Hmm.
many different ways that you can be a teacher, like, and you are naturally one at heart, so putting that into action in a different way than you have, even, like, I think about our travel experience, being a travel agent or even
Hmm.
doing work that requires not that I would ever go back to that, but I find myself to be an expert at living on the road too,
Yeah.
so who knows what that could there's
Hmm.
just so many different directions you could go, and I don't know, I feel like this is a conversation that is not given the time and space to breathe, right?
Hmm.
Like, we're asking these questions of ourselves, and it's like a hypothetical thing. I'm not trying to do anything different with my life, but what would I do? I don't know. It's fun to sit and dream, but I think some people need to do it and do it really seriously.
They
Sit
really
and
need
dream
to.
in it,
Yes.
and
There are
then
people who are sitting there, nurses and teachers, and some of these people who, like, the industry of them in general are a little, ugh, you know?
yeah.
And you might need to, because you have a professional degree, right? You went
Yep.
and got a teacher's license. You went and with the education behind it, not just a license, right? You went to school
Uh-huh.
and you are board certified nurse, practitioner, registered nurse, whatever. And you're like, I went to a lot of school to do this. I need to do this for the rest of my career. And the answer is not if it makes you unhappy, you don't. I think that a lot of people put pressure on themselves to stay. They're like, I did this, I need to stay. And these are some of the people who need it the most. And they're like, all I know how to do is nurse. All I know how to do is teach. And it's like, you could.
With those same skills,
Yes.
apply them differently.
Well, you could do something exactly with the teaching skill that you have. There are
Mm.
coaches for every single industry. You know what I mean? Like you could teach people stuff, you could train people, you could do that. And with the nursing, you can go and be a holistic nurse and you can do something with, you know what I mean, outside of the hospital setting. There are things that you can parallelly do with the professional skill that you have.
Uh-huh.
Or you can say, everyone always said that I was the very best at making people feel at ease as a nurse, right? Like, because not all
Yeah.
nurses do that for you. Actually, most of them don't. But if you're really good at putting people at ease, what does that relate to? What other thing could you do with that? Combined with that you're also really good at this, and this, including storytelling and you know what I mean? Like so many other things. So
Yeah.
I really want people to think about that, especially the people who feel trapped by their degree. They're like, I did all this
Yeah.
work to get here. And it's like, but would you rather throw that away a little bit and be happy? Or would you rather be like, I'm sticking to it because I spent that 75 grand on this? It's like, and then you're unhappy the rest of your life? Get out of here with that.
Yeah. I mean, and that really begs the question, like, how much of your current path is actually intentional? And how
Yeah.
much of it is just the momentum of the circumstance that you were in
Yeah.
to just keep going? I mean, I
Hmm.
can tell you that's how I ended up where I'm at. I was in school to be a nurse
Hmm.
and was like, yeah, this is not my path. So I took a minute off. I was waiting tables in
Hmm.
a restaurant to literally pay rent,
Hmm.
fell in love with the company, and because I fell in love with the company, it made it easy to sell it, if you will. Got into
Hmm.
marketing, stayed for 20 years. Now it's like what I know is marketing, what I'm good at is marketing, and I'm still very interested in it. So thank God, because that's what I do now. But like,
Hmm.
I know that my path is a path of circumstance, not intention. I did not
Hmm.
set out to do marketing. It was
Hmm.
never a goal, never even an interest. Because
No.
to me, as a younger person exploring what I want to do the rest of my life, when you said marketing, I didn't even really know what that meant.
Hmm.
And to me, it fell right in with the idea of sales. And that
Yeah.
didn't feel authentic to me.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I think that that's another thing that we should all consider. Like, are you intentionally where you're at, or are you just letting the wind take you where it does?
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's anything wrong with seeing where the
Well,
wind's gonna take you.
we let the wind take us, but then we corrected once it took us to a place
Yeah,
that wasn't as happy anymore, right?
right.
Like it was really fun and I was glad that it took me where it took me for so long. But I think that we all need to do a checkup of,
Mhm.
has the wind taken me somewhere that I wouldn't have taken myself, because you do get sucked up into it
Yeah,
sometimes.
I
Mhm.
think that does happen, and we've both said out loud multiple times, there were promotions that very simply and easily could have come to fruition, and I will tell you, if that's a job that I had landed, that would be the wind taking me into the wrong place, and I'm glad that that didn't happen, but, I think going along with that, letting the wind take you where it does and just, floating through life, I think that there are probably some people who look back and go, man, there's a few things that I did because of those circumstances that I would
Yeah.
never, ever do again.
Mhm.
For me, I would never, ever, ever take a job where I had to work 70 to 80 hours plus a week. Not to say that
Never.
that was all week, every week, whatever, but one that really hijacked my entire life, not even just in the proximity of home. I'm not even just talking about the travel. I mean, I had my kids drawing pictures of me sitting in the window at the computer because even when I was home, I wasn't home,
Mhm.
still working on the computer. You know,
Mhm.
that's insanity. I would never do that again.
Mm-mm. Never.
That's not
So
my only stipulation, but
yeah, it's not my only stipulation, but the working that many hours is crazy. And the only reason that people do that is because they are so self-important that they think that they are needed that much. Like literally, I
yeah.
didn't have to work that much. You know what I mean? Like I
No.
pushed myself to work that much. The travel did add into some things where it's like, I mean, I some days 8 hours turns into 16 because of travel delays
Yep.
and lots of and driving for the 3 hours after you land and all the things. But there is no reason for that. Like literally, when you don't have a life outside of work, except for on the days that on the weekends. No, you need to have an evening, or if you work in
Mhm.
the evening, you need to have a daytime. There has to be time to live life, you know?
Truly, there.
There does, and it's not always perfect, but, like, you have to also live a life, because
Yeah.
otherwise, you can't escape what we've talked about so many times, which is making your job or your career your entire identity. Like, you
Mm.
can't avoid it when you don't give yourself anything else that is
Yep.
you, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. What else? What's something else that you would never do again?
I would never work for someone else again. I would never work a job that I had to be on site. So let's just my chiropractor. She is
Yeah.
so passionate about what she does and she is so good at what she does. And she's always like, every time I come in, she's like, "Where are you going next?" I'm like, "We leave tomorrow for this." And she's like, because she has to be there. You know what I mean? Like to be a chiropractor, you have to be in person,
Yeah,
you know?
she's stuck there. Mhm.
Yeah, and she loves what she does, but I sometimes feel like she's like, "I really wanna just be able to go for 2 weeks," you know? But she can't just shut down for 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
And
People depend on her.
so, yeah, so I would never work a job where I have to be in person. I need to be able to handle it from anywhere, so I will always want to work some sort of a digital thing or
Remote.
something that could be done, yeah, remote in some way so that I can continue to be on the move and not have to be back to see people in person.
Yep.
Those are the 2 things I think that are my deal breakers.
I think I also would add to that, if I were to go back and really think about this as like mistakes that I refuse to repeat, I would say I wouldn't say yes to everything ever again. Be more strategic about the
Yeah.
things that I take on. I wouldn't fight to stay somewhere that I don't need to be. When you scratch and claw to get what you think that you want, only to get what you think that you want and go, the victory was getting here, but now I'm stuck here kind of thing. I mean, I had those rose colored glasses for a long, 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 long time in the world and I loved the job, but it took a lot from my life that I willfully didn't look at. I will never
Mhm.
put the rose colored glasses back on
Mhm.
because there is no amount of money and there is no career. It's really easy for me to say there's no amount of money that would make me do these things having never been
Yeah,
a
you don't
rich.
know.
But I would like to think that there's no amount of money that would make me stay in a place that's not good for me. You
Mhm.
know, it wasn't
You
healthy
don't
for
always
me.
know though, in the moment, but
Mm.
going back to what you just said about I'll never fight to blah blah, and it's like I think that that is huge. You should never fight for a job. I mean, and maybe I'm so wrong. Maybe I'm so off base on this, and you can tell me, and anybody who's listening, you can tell me if you think that I'm off base. But like, it's just like relationships. I don't think. I mean, marriages are hard, and you need to fight for them, and whatever. But like in general, the only relationships in my life that have been hard are the ones that aren't right. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying that marriage is easy. There's disagreements.
working for something and fighting for
Mhm.
something are
Yes.
not the same thing.
No, they're not the same thing. Working for something and fighting for something, not the same thing. But in general, like the relationships that have been easy for me have been the most rewarding, have been
Mhm.
it's like they were supposed to happen, right? Like this is put in
Yeah.
front of you and this is what's supposed to happen. And that's how I felt about this business. Did I have to try? Yes. Did I
Yeah,
have to
you worked for
hustle?
it.
Yes, I had to
Mhm.
hustle, but I didn't have to fight for anything.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this many times. In corporate, we fought for promotions I won't say anything about you, but that I would have been miserable in.
Yeah,
And
and it's the
that
same one. We're in the same boat. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like it's just what we thought needed to happen, like that was the next
Yeah.
step. That was and you're fighting towards it because that is the culture of corporate America, like they're like, you got to get
It's
to
what
the
I was
next
supposed
step.
to want.
Yeah, it is. And so that to me is, yeah, never again.
The trouble with that for me, and just thinking about that when you said that out loud, like that I would have been so miserable in, I don't know if I would have been miserable in it, at least not at first. There would have been too much excitement around having gotten there and the victory of having made it to the next rung on the ladder
Uh-huh.
and the challenge of getting to be good at it that I would have put on the blinders or kept on the blinders of all the things that I was sacrificing to be there, and maybe wouldn't have woke up as fast to
Mhm.
the things that were really important in my life that I was letting go of,
Mhm.
and how much worse off would my personal life have ended up if I
Mhm.
had stayed like entangled and entrapped with the idea of this is what success in my life is supposed to look like.
Mm. Well, we're getting a little deep.
I
I
know.
you know,
I didn't mean to go there, but
but
it's
it's
real.
good. Yeah, it's really good. I want to make sure that we are getting the point across that we just want everyone to think about, would you rebuild the exact same thing again, right?
Mhm.
Would you figure out, in my case, let's say that I know that this question was, you have all the skills and knowledge and everything, from your entire career. You're just, what would you do if everything kind of fell through? But I'm thinking also, like, if I could start back, would I have tried to figure out how to get where I am now or to this point where I would have wanted to get in a different way? And the answer is yes, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed my career because of the people.
Mhm.
However, and I don't want to give up those friendships and whatever, but it's interesting to think about, especially with talking to teenagers who are trying to figure out what their life looks like. I'm like, I don't want you to have to fight through all of the bullshit,
Yeah.
to get to the thing to how you want your life to look, right? Because
Yeah.
there are a lot of ways I could have potentially I could have interned for free for a couple of years at different marketing firms. I didn't even know I wanted marketing, whatever,
Yeah,
but
you could
like,
have done that while you were waiting tables.
yes, and then I could have gotten a job and then I could have quickly start, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Wisdom is, earned
Hindsight.
later in life, but it's like, if I'm asked this and if I'm giving advice to people who are getting ready to start their life, it's the answer is I would have figured out a fast track to get there, and I maybe would have skipped marketing altogether. Maybe I would be just educating people on how to be better. So it's like, I don't know, but
Well,
I
I'm gonna
think that
flip the script on you just a little bit though,
yeah.
because I think that a lot of people think the way that you do. If I could go back and redo it, I would be doing it this way and I could have gotten here faster. And it kind of turns your experience, your life experience into a negative. But
Yeah, and I don't want
something,
that. Mhm.
yeah, something that I think that we should really explore is the positive aspects of burnout, right? The
Mhm.
experience that you did have, that wasn't wasted time in your life.
Mhm.
That was your education, right? So if you really want to think of it that way, it's like you might not have a 4-year college degree, but how many years of life experience did you have that is your education? And what did it teach you? And so
Mhm.
based on what it taught you, you now have the knowledge, skills, and wisdom to go forth and do it
Yeah, to
better, do
do
it
that
differently.
thing. Yeah, to do
Yeah.
that thing, the exact thing that you wanna do. I have a goal for this year to get my keynote together for how to get comfortable outside of your comfort zone, okay? And I have had this on the list for years. I've wanted to do a TED Talk about this. I'm a little far out from that, but this was the year to like get serious about that, to really like start, right?
Uh-huh.
Not have it perfect, but like start. I need to start
Yeah.
practicing it. I need to start writing it. I need to start all this stuff. And I can see myself literally ditching all of the marketing, and literally just trying to help people feel like I feel now. Like I'm trying
Yeah.
to get outside of my
Comfortable
comfort
in your
zone.
own skin,
Yes, because
outside of
it
your
took
comfort zone.
so long to get there, and I'm still not all the way there, but I'm pushing myself, and I did 20 years of never pushing myself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
literally, that was the opposite. I was just always trying to, like, hermit crab everything in, and now I try and get out of my comfort zone, and I want to teach as many people that as soon as I can so that they don't have to live their whole freaking adult life feeling uncomfortable and feeling like they need to stay in their comfort zone, right? So anyway, I I think that I have narrowed that's probably what I would do. I would just travel around and teach people that.
I don't think that's a terrible idea and could still be in your future if you really think
Mhm.
about it. And
Yeah.
you know what I hope people get from this entire episode, of our personal aspects of it, but also just a bigger overarching question is like, if you could rebuild everything, would your life actually look different? Do a lifestyle audit. What do you want your life to look like? How do
Mhm.
you want to spend your time? How much time do you want to give to work? How important is the money to you? Rack and stack all of those things. And, you could take it down to like, what do you want your mornings to look like?
Mhm.
Do you want to get to sit on the front porch and drink your coffee and look at your brand new gardenia bloom? I don't know. I do. And I love that I get to. And I want other people to if they want to. I want you to be in charge of how many hours a week you work and how much money you live and where you get to live, how much time you spend with your family or don't have to. You have to figure that out for yourself, what that
Mhm.
lifestyle looks like. And if you can audit that for yourself and discover if you want more, you should be hustling and chasing after it. If you want simpler, it is okay to slow down. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't believe.
No, they
That
don't. And it's because what does success look like to most people?
Mhm.
And it looks like that hustling corporate, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's what it looks like. And to me, in my house, success looks like freedom, really,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. To me,
Mhm.
it is slowing down,
Yep.
getting to stop and smell the flowers. And, I'm about to take a kiddo to register for camp, getting to be present for the freaking
Mhm.
Tuesday morning breakfast, the
Mhm.
moments that don't matter. They're just
Mhm.
mundane moments. I'm here for them. And
Mhm.
I value them now more than I would have if I'd always had them. So I
Mhm.
can't discount the time that I spent you know, making the mistakes, if you want to call it that. I don't think of it as a mistake. I think of it as that was my education. That this was a lesson that I had to learn in life, a lesson that brought me a lot of skills and a lot of really great experiences. But it was for a time. It was for a season in my life. And I'm glad that I'm through it to be
Mhm.
able to live on the other side and know in my heart fully that me preferring simplicity is not me giving up on the idea of success. It's just me trashing somebody else's view of what success is.
Mhm. And there's nothing we have the same view of what success looks like now,
Yeah,
but not everyone's going to have that same view and their view isn't wrong, right? But
right.
they shouldn't push it on anybody else. It's just their view, right?
100%.
So figure out what your view of success looks like and please try and go and get it. It's a lot of people will say, "Well, I got to feed my family." And it's like, "Well, let's figure out some steps then to get there." But
Yeah.
what I would love from everybody, okay? Sometimes I talked about that I'm all woo woo now. It's like you have to put things out into the universe. So please,
Yeah.
please leave a comment if you'd like about what you would do, right? If you could just scratch it and kind of start over with the way things are right now with your skill set and whatever. Tell us what you would do. We would love to hear your stories. We would love to read your stories of
Yeah.
what you would do. We want to push you a little bit. We want to be here to support you if that's what you need. Like just I think that sometimes we just need permission and this is your permission to start thinking about what that might look like for you.
Well, I love that. And I hope that we get some responses on this. But I think, kind of in closing, what I would say is maybe the question really isn't about what you would do if you had to start over tomorrow. The bigger question we should be asking ourselves is, why are we waiting for a catastrophe to give ourselves permission to do exactly what it is that we can dream up that we want?
Yeah. Smart. I love
I
that.
know. I
Okay.
know. We just have to think differently. And I
Yeah.
think that's a good challenge for us all.
Yes. I love it. Okay. Well, I hope that this resonated with some of you and that you think things through. Just think about it.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you guys next week.
All right. Have a great week.
Bye.